Discover the incredible heartwarming secrets of ancient Egypt, 7 life-changing practices exposed. Sarah climbed the creaky stairs to the attic, the dim light filtering through a dusty window, casting a golden hue on forgotten corners. With each careful step, she felt as if she were diving into a treasure chest of her childhood. Memories of her grandmother filled her heart, the smell of freshly baked cookies and the warmth of unconditional love still alive within her. As a single mother to Mia, everything around her felt heavy with responsibility, yet today swung like a pendulum between nostalgia and aspiration. Then she saw it, an old, dusty journal with tattered pages hidden under a pile of quilts. Intrigued, Sarah brushed it off and opened it, revealing the profound wisdom of ancient Egypt. The words danced off the page, describing 7 transformative practices: gratitude, community, resilience. They spoke of family bonds woven tightly through laughter, shared meals, and unwavering support. Each line felt like a gentle nudge forward, igniting a flicker of hope in her heart. Could this really change our lives, she pondered, as tears pooled in her eyes. Implementing those practices was not an easy task, especially while juggling her shifts at the fast food joint. But each night, after tucking an inquisitive Mia into bed, Sarah would whisper her thanks aloud as if the universe could hear her. She felt lighter, more vibrant, as if she carried the very essence of her grandmother's spirit with her. The relentless struggles of her economically struggling suburb seemed to ease, even if just slightly. For the first time, she felt the warmth of possibility, but then, life hit hard. The news rolled out like a dark cloud: their only grocery store was on the brink of closure. Panic washed over Sarah. How could she provide for Mia? What would happen to their neighbors, who depended on that store? In that moment, her heart screamed against the backdrop of hopelessness surrounding them. Here was a chance for Sarah to stand tall, to make a difference, but it meant leaving the familiarity of their small town. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Determined, Sarah organized a fundraiser to save the grocery store. With her heart pounding, she invited the community to come together. However, the response was a disheartening ambivalence. She faced apathy and resistance, faces turning away, whispers of doubt bouncing off the walls of indifference. As she sat alone, heart heavy, she almost lost hope. Until a familiar voice broke through the fog, a wise elderly veteran, who once regaled her with tales of unity and the strength found in camaraderie. "You don't just fight for yourself," he said, eyes piercing into her soul. "You fight for us all." Motivated and emboldened by both her grandmother's journal and the veteraness words, Sarah showed up to the next community meeting with a quaking heart. "We can't let this divide us," she cried, passionately advocating for community strength and connection. Tensions erupted as the room buzzed with frustration. Sarah could feel the walls closing in, the air thick with doubt. Could she lead them toward renewed hope, or would they remain tethered to their fears? She stood at that moment, clutching her grandmother's journal, wondering if those ancient practices could ignite a spark strong enough to unite them all. The murmur of voices filled the small community center as Sarah stood at the front, her heart racing. She glanced around the room, her eyes landing on familiar faces marked by lines of worry and frustration. People were tired of fighting. She felt the weight of their indifference pressing down. But deep within her, the lessons from her grandmother's journal burned bright, urging her to persist. "Remember why we're here," Sarah continued, her voice slicing through the tension. "This isn't just about an old grocery store. It's about our families, our friendships, and the spirit of our community. We can do this together." A rustling noise caught her attention, and she turned to see Mrs. Henderson, a longtime resident with silver hair and a warm smile, stand up. "I know we've all struggled," Mrs. Henderson began, but I remember how it used to be when we helped each other out. We cannot lose that place. It's the heart of our neighborhood." Encouraged, Sarah felt warmth spread through her chest. Mrs. Henderson's words seemed to intertwine with the journal's teachings. Other voices began to chime in. One by one, neighbors started to stand, sharing their stories of connection and love tied to the grocery store. "My kids had their first jobs there," shouted a man with a baseball cap. "We shared meals when my husband was sick, they delivered groceries right to our door," added a young mother, pulling her shy daughter closer. With each heartfelt story, the atmosphere shifted. The air felt lighter, and a small spark of hope began to flicker among the crowd. Sarah seized the moment. "This is what we need: unity. Let us hold an event. A block party. We can invite everyone. We showcase what we mean to each other, the laughter, the stories, the love." As she spoke, enthusiasm began to ripple through the room. People shared ideas, drawn together by the spirit of resilience. They talked about food, games, maybe even a bake-off. For the first time that night, laughter broke out, and Sarah could hardly believe her eyes. But as she stood amidst the gathering momentum, anxiety prickled at the back of her mind. What if they all went home tonight feeling good, only to fall apart again tomorrow? What if it wasn't enough? Suddenly, an uneasy silence fell. "What if the donations don't come in?" questioned a stout man, his skepticism bubbling through the hopeful air. "What if nobody shows up?" Those words hung heavily in the air. Could they truly make this happen? Doubt was a tricky foe, lurking beneath the surface like shadows waiting to pounce. With a determined resolve, Sarah stepped forward. "We won't know unless we try. We'll build something greater than ourselves. We will show our neighbors, even those who didn't come tonight, that we're serious." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, growing stronger. The collective hope began to replace doubt, turning Sarah's fear into a driving force. Later that night, as Sarah sat at the kitchen table, writing notes and making a plan, she felt a shift in her heart. It was no longer just her fight, it was their shared battle. And it would take all their voices to sing the loudest. Yet, in the solitude of her home, another wave of worry washed over her. She thought of Mia and how much she needed her mother present, wondering if she could balance everything. Just then, Mia peeked her head around the corner, her eyes bright with curiosity. "Mommy, are we really going to save the store?" Sarah smiled, but the weight of the world felt heavier. "Yes, sweetheart. But it's going to take all of us, and I need you by my side." Mia's small face lit up. "I can help with the bake sale. Just like Grandma used to." As Sarah tucked her daughter back into bed, she couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was just beginning. The stakes were high and uncertain, but with Mia's faith, the fire in her heart flared once again. What surprises awaited them as they navigated this challenge? Would their collective determination be enough to ignite change? The answers lingered, resolute and tantalizing. The next morning came with bursts of sunlight shining through the kitchen window. Sarah poured herself a cup of coffee, hoping the caffeine would provide some clarity. The events of last night replayed in her mind: the laughter, the stories, the resolve. It felt surreal, like a dream edging toward reality, but now she needed a plan. She reached for her grandmother's journal, opened it, and scanned the pages. Every entry was infused with her grandmother's love and wisdom. As she flipped through the worn pages, one specific lesson flickered back into her mind: the power of shared purpose. It was time to bring that lesson to life. As she sat at the table, her phone buzzed. It was Mrs. Henderson. "Let us meet at noon to discuss the block party," came the text. A spark of excitement ignited in Sarah's chest. "Absolutely," she replied, visioning the old ladies reminiscing about their shared past, eyes twinkling as they planned out every detail. When she arrived at the community center, Sarah found Mrs. Henderson chatting with another neighbor, Greg, who was known for his lively spirit. "Glad to see you, Sarah," he said, clapping her on the shoulder. "We have a lot of ideas already, from live music to a potluck." The trio convened around a table. As they tossed around ideas, Sarah felt that initial ripple of enthusiasm transform into something potent. They discussed involving local musicians, creating a flyer, and putting up signs, simple things that could build excitement in the community. Each suggestion felt like adding another piece to a beautiful tapestry woven from everyone's voices. An hour slipped away, and as they wrapped up their meeting, Sarah's phone buzzed again. It was Mia, curious to know what they had planned. "I can't wait for the party, Mommy. Can we make Grandma's cookies?" Her heart swelled as she replied, "Of course, sweetheart. We'll make them together." The thought of baking with her daughter felt comforting, like wrapping herself in a homemade quilt. As the days rolled into nights, the anticipation for the block party hummed through the neighborhood. Flyers embellished with colorful drawings hung from every lamppost and flickered on community boards. People began to sign up for the potluck and volunteer for different activities. The air buzzed with energy, hope became contagious, but with the surge of excitement came whispers of doubt, flickering beneath the surface. One afternoon, as Sarah stood outside the grocery store, she overheard some neighbors questioning if they could really pull it off. What if nobody comes? What if it rains? Their voices dripped with skepticism. That evening, Sarah lay restless in bed, recalling those words echoing in her mind. Was she foolish to think they could turn things around? Just then, a small hand crept under the covers. Mia was beside her again, eyes shining bright against the dark. "Can we really save the store, Mommy?" The love in her daughter's gaze sparked something within Sarah. "Yes, Mia. We can. But we have to believe in each other." The next day, with renewed conviction, Sarah stepped into the community center once more, rallying everyone with a newfound determination. She reminded them that they were like the family they cherished, not just residents but a collective force. As they moved closer to the date, the tension of anticipation hung thicker. People began to arrive at the community center with items to donate, volunteer shifts, and ingredients for the potluck. Eyes lit with excitement turned to her for guidance. "We can make this happen," Sarah said, even as uncertainty coiled in her gut. And then, just as families began to come together, a heavy thunder rolled through the sky. Everyone paused. Would the storm threaten their block party? As the clouds gathered, Sarah closed her eyes, whispering a silent plea into the thunderous air. "Let us have this." Now, the answer awaited them beyond the horizon, a test of their resolve. Would they overcome their doubts together, or would nature have the final say? The suspense hung thick in the air, drumming anticipation with every heartbeat. The storm clouds loomed like dark giants, threatening to overshadow her budding hopes. Sarah stood with her friends, the air heavy with uncertainty. The murmurs about the weather grew louder, and she could see the faces of her neighbors shift from excited anticipation to anxious worry. "Maybe we should think about rescheduling," Greg suggested, his hopeful tone dimming under the weight of the approaching storm. "No." Sarah's voice rang out, stronger than she felt. "We can't let a little rain stop us. This is more than a block party, it's a chance to come together, to show that we are here for each other." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, a spark of hope flickered in the eyes of her friends. "We've worked too hard," Mrs. Henderson chimed in, her usual cheerful demeanor shining through her concern. "If it rains, we'll bring out the umbrellas and dance in the rain." Laughter erupted, serving as a reminder of the fun they had planned. Yet, Sarah could still feel the nagging doubt deep inside her. Could they really follow through, even with rain clouds looming over them? Determination surged within her as she rallied the group again. "Let us prepare for everything. We can set up tents and make sure everyone knows it's still on. It won't just be a party, it'll be a testament to our spirit." She felt the adrenaline coursing through her veins. As they split into teams to finalize preparations, Sarah's heart pounded not just from the anxiety of the upcoming event, but from the growing bond she felt with her neighbors. Families began arriving with baked goods, crafts, and homemade decorations. Each contribution seemed to add a layer of warmth, transforming her fears into quiet resolve. The morning of the event dawned gray and overcast. Drops of rain pattered against windows like tiny hearts beat in anticipation. Despite the chill in the air, Sarah pushed herself to remain optimistic. She threw on a raincoat, grabbed Mia's tiny hand, and headed out. Once they reached the community center, a sense of camaraderie surrounded her. People gathered, sharing stories about their lives, laughing about the rain, and complaining about the unpredictable weather. There was beauty in their resilience, and Sarah couldn't help but smile as she watched the older generation mingle with younger families. "Look, Mommy. Mr. Thompson brought his guitar." Mia squealed, pointing at their neighbor strumming cheerful tunes under the cover of an awning. The sound was infectious, and soon, the community erupted in song. It was as though the music rang out louder than the thunder rumbling in the distance. Sarah's worries faded, laughter and joy became the heart of the celebration, but just as everyone began to settle into the rhythm of the party, the clouds unleashed their fury. Rain poured down, sending a wave of gasps through the crowd. Panic flashed in Sarah's eyes for just a moment before she remembered her grandmother's words. "Sometimes, the sun shines brightest after the storm." Thinking quickly, she grabbed a handful of brightly colored umbrellas from a nearby table and called for everyone's attention. "Let's embrace this. Who's ready to dance?" She opened her umbrella wide, winking at Mia, and soon everyone joined in, umbrellas bobbing above heads, laughter mingling with the raindrops, families twirled and spun, children splashed in puddles, and the community united under shared smiles and swinging arms. The world outside melted away as joy reclaimed its rightful place at the center of their gathering. At that moment, Sarah realized it was about more than saving a store or throwing a party. It was about building connections, showing resilience, and painting their own stories into the fabric of life. But then, from the corner of her eye, she caught a glimpse of someone moving toward the chaos, an unfamiliar figure drenched in rain. Who could it be? Sarah's heart raced. Was it someone who could help, or would this stranger threaten what they had just built? The question loomed large, pulsing like the rhythm of a drum. The figure stepped closer, emerging from the curtain of rain. It was a woman, with dark hair plastered to her forehead and eyes that seemed to shimmer even in the dreary weather. She wore a faded yellow raincoat and looked a little lost, but there was something about her that held a certain serenity despite the chaos around. "Excuse me." The woman shouted, her voice cutting through the laughter like a gentle breeze. "Is this the community block party?" Sarah's heart released some tension. "Yes. Come join us," she called, waving her arms enthusiastically, urging the newcomer forward. She felt an inexplicable draw to this stranger. Maybe it was the genuine curiosity in her eyes. As the woman approached, she hesitated, glancing around at the colorful chaos, a sea of umbrellas and splashes, a thriving community letting loose against the storm. "I saw the balloons from my apartment and thought," she trailed off, a baffled smile breaking across her face. "Thought what?" Sarah encouraged, stepping forward to close the gap. "I thought it looked like a party worth crashing," the woman replied, laughter breaking through her shyness. "I'm Lily, by the way." "Great to meet you, Lily." "I'm Sarah." She took Lily's hand, welcoming her into the fold. "Come on. It's raining, but there's no stopping this party." Mia, thrilled by the new guest, tugged at Lily's sleeve. "You can dance with us," she exclaimed, pulling Lily toward the center of the festivities. Amidst swirling umbrellas and laughter, the crowd made way for them. Sarah's heart swelled, feeling the warmth of connection spreading through her. It felt like everyone had forgotten the rain, lost in the pure joy of each other's company. As the music filled the air, Lily twirled with Mia, their laughter melding seamlessly with the tunes. Sarah felt her worries slip away, realizing there was beauty in welcoming someone new into their little bubble of joy. But just as the atmosphere reached a peak of unity, a loud crash of thunder rattled everyone to their core. The sudden sound broke the spell. Nearby, a table toppled over, scattering desserts and decorations alike. Gasps echoed, and panic fluttered like leaves in a gust of wind. Sarah felt her heart drop. This was exactly what she feared. One moment of chaos could unravel all the hard work they had built. Stay calm. We can clean this up. She shouted, her voice firming up despite the rising anxiety in her chest. But as she looked around, she spotted Lily's expression shift from joyful to alarmed. I can help. Lily called out, her eyes darting to the mess. Just tell me what to do. Sarah smiled, feeling the camaraderie spark again. You can help gather the food. Let us sort it out together. Fueled by Lily's enthusiasm, Sarah raced toward the scattered muffins and pastries, reaching out to others. Everyone joined in, driven by the instinctive need to support each other. Unity was flowing stronger than any storm looming outside. Yet, as Sarah dug under the table for a lost brownie, she caught a glimpse of a shadow moving in the periphery once more. The same stranger from moments ago, lurking, eyes fixed on the party. The mystery prickled under her skin. Is everything okay? Sarah thought, each heartbeat echoing with questions. But then she caught Lily's bright smile and remembered the magic of this moment had already been sealed. They could weather any storm together. But still, who was that lingering stranger? An uneasy thrill ran through her as she straightened up, locking eyes with the figure, her mind racing. What secrets did they bring, and how might they change everything? The rain drummed a steady rhythm as Sarah straightened up, her heart pounding not just from the chaos but from the unfamiliarity of the figure's gaze. The stranger remained, hovering like a ghost at the edge of the celebration. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this moment than just a sunny gathering turned stormy. Who are you? Sarah whispered quietly to herself, watching as the silhouette shifted slightly, seemingly waiting for something. She could feel the energy in the air tangling with uncertainty. In that moment, laughter erupted once more from Mia and Lily as they cleaned up the remnants of their party, a beautiful contrast to the tension inside her. Come on, Sarah. Mia called out, looking particularly proud of a muffin she had salvaged. It's just a little rain. We're having fun. Her innocence cracked a small smile on Sarah's face, reminding her why she loved these gatherings so much. People came together, pushed through the chaos, and shared joy. But the figure remained unmoved, still. It gnawed at her, an itch she couldn't scratch. It wasn't just curiosity, this was unsettling. Sarah shook herself out of the gloom, focusing on the party. Okay, back to work. She declared, motioning towards the others. Who's going to help us turn this around? Let us show the rain who's in charge. The energy surged back, and everyone rallied together, hands reaching for the scattered treats. With every muffin and pastry returned to their place, something beautiful began to unfold. Children laughed, adults shared stories, and Lily called out to the crowd, her laughter tethering everyone together. All right. Dance time again, right? She exclaimed, her voice bright against the thudding storm. The skies might be dark, but their spirits soared in bright colors. Sarah felt her worries melting away, but beneath the surface, that figure loomed. It was like a flickering candle in a dark room, pulling her focus no matter how hard she tried to redirect it. Concentrating on the party helped, but she stole glances toward the edge, attempting to gauge the stranger's intentions. Suddenly, amidst the laughter and thrumming music, the drizzle began to ease. The clouds above shifted, allowing a thin shaft of light to break through. It illuminated the chaos of the party, and it was as if the whole world paused for just a moment. Oh look, a rainbow! Mia jumped up, her eyes wide with excitement. The gathered crowd turned in unison, faces brightening. The sight seemed to infuse life back into everyone, providing an unspoken hope that they would weather this storm after all. Sarah smiled, momentarily distracted, but then turned again to the shadow, and just like that, it moved. The figure took a step toward the crowd, as if the light had beckoned it forward. Panic flared in Sarah's chest again, but curiosity tangled in. Lily noticed too, glancing back at Sarah with a look that implied they were both thinking the same thing. What do you think she wants? Lily ventured, still reaching out to pass a tray of cookies. The moment felt suspended, Sarah saw hope in Lily and in the rekindled energy of the party, but the stranger could shift everything. I don't know, but something tells me we're about to find out, Sarah replied, her voice laced with apprehension. With every heartbeat, the crowd behind her buzzed with jubilance, but Sarah's gaze locked with the figure once more. The stranger's expression was unreadable, but there was something almost magnetic about the way they stood. The music swelled, laughter continued to flow, but the tension lingered. What could this stranger want, promising a potential disruption? Could this encounter, veiled in shadows, lead to something more than chaos? As she bit her lip, her heart raced, wondering about the revelation that could unfold next. What kind of storm was this stranger bringing into their midst? The figure moved closer, each step drawing the eye of the crowd. Conversations faltered, laughter faded, and suddenly the rain-soaked celebration felt fragile, as though it could shatter with the next flicker of the stranger's gaze. Sarah's heart pounded, a wild mix of dread and intrigue surged within her. The figure was a woman, her features softly defined, almost ethereal. Rain dripped from her dark hair, framing a face that appeared both familiar and foreign. Sarah felt a strange pull, a connection that tugged at something deep inside her. She had never laid eyes on this stranger, yet something about her was undeniably compelling. Is everything all right? Mia's voice pulled Sarah briefly out of her reverie. The girl had come up beside her, sensing the tension. All around them, the collective murmurs of curiosity rippled through the group, an echo of Sarah's own turmoil. I don't know, Sarah stammered, watching as the woman paused at the edge of the revelry. I think she's here for something important. Let's just keep having fun. Maybe she wants to join us. Mia suggested, sidestepping the unease, her bright spirit contagious. But Sarah remained fixed, torn between her instincts and the desire for a carefree moment. The storm had calmed, but this new wave of uncertainty felt heavier than before. What if the arrival of the stranger shifted everything? Perhaps the party would never feel the same again. Hey! You! Lily called out, an innate boldness sparking in her voice. She took a few steps forward, closing the distance between the crowd and the hovering stranger. Do you want to celebrate with us? It's safe now. The woman's lips curved slightly, as if a forgotten smile edged its way back to life. She took another step, almost intrigued by Lily's invitation. The crowd held its breath, collectively waiting for her response. Sarah's heart raced uncontrollably. What if the answer turned this celebration upside down? What if the woman brought news or that dreaded word trouble? The thought crawled into Sarah's mind uninvited, gnawing at her peace. Can I come closer? The stranger's voice was soft but clear, resonating over the faint notes of music. Yes. Please. Lily chirped, her own excitement seemingly flowing into Sarah and the others. As the lady stepped into the sunlight, a sudden flicker of understanding unfurled in Sarah's chest. The woman's expression shifted, drawing a mix of empathy and sorrow. It was a look Sarah recognized, a glance she might have exchanged with a friend in pain, encouraging a release of burdens. I didn't mean to intrude, the woman said, her voice whispering through the crowd. I lost my way in the storm. The colors here pulled me in. In that moment, a connection swept through the assembly, silencing the lingering uncertainty. It was raw, real, and each person felt the undercurrent of shared experience. The storm had indeed transformed her arrival into a beacon, a faraway lighthouse amidst fog and chaos. Stay with us! Shouted Mia, throwing her arms wide as if to embrace the woman. Surrounded by laughter and joy, Sarah felt something shift inside her, a sliver of hope cutting through her hesitation. Maybe this stranger was not meant to disrupt, but to remind them all of resilience and connection in the face of unpredictability. As the crowd cheered, the woman smiled fully for the first time. Deep lines softened around her eyes. Thank you, she said, and Sarah's breathing quickened as she realized the storm wasn't over yet, but perhaps it was leading them somewhere more profound. Her heart fluttered. What did this signify? Could unknown paths unveil surprises or profound changes for all of them? As laughter danced through the air, Sarah could only wonder what other revelations lay hidden beneath the chaos. The atmosphere shifted palpably as the stranger stepped deeper into the circle of brightly colored lights and joyful laughter. Sarah felt a strange sensation as if the consequences of their choices hung in the air, waiting to unfold like the petals of a flower. Every eye was on the woman, but Sarah's emotions swirled chaotically inside her. Unease mingled with curiosity, and a flicker of hope sparked somewhere deep. "Are you okay?" Lily asked, her voice gentle, contrasting the buzz of excitement permeating the crowd. The stranger had taken on a warmth, yet something hovered beneath the surface of her smile, an unspoken story waiting to be told. The woman nodded slightly, yet there was a distant look in her eyes, as if she were watching a scene play out from afar. "I'm seeking something," she finally admitted, her voice trembling with a mix of vulnerability and strength. "I was drawn here, but I can't quite explain why." The crowd leaned in, enthralled. Sarah's heart picked up speed. What was it that called this woman from within the storm? Did her search hold pieces of their own stories? She wanted so badly to know, but fear gripped her. What if the answers were darker than they appeared? "Let us find out together," Mia exclaimed, her enthusiasm unyielding. "Like a treasure hunt." "What are you after?" The woman's laughter came as sweet relief, a healing note within the tension. "It's not treasure, exactly. It's a sense of belonging. I've been searching for a place where I feel safe, loved, like I'm part of something bigger." Sarah could sense the weight of those words lingering like the remnants of the storm. Belonging. It struck a chord, resonating deeply in her chest. The very emotions that danced around them, the joy, the comfort of friendship she had almost taken for granted. "What if we help you?" Lily suggested, eyes sparkling. "We could show you what this place means to us, all the reasons we celebrate." The crowd murmured in agreement, excitement unfolding like wings taking flight. Before the stranger could respond, the rhythmic music wrapped around them. A beat that called for movement surged through the air. Mia reached for her hand, pulling her into the thrumming heart of the celebration. Together, they twirled under the half-hearted sunlight, laughter lifting the tension from their shoulders. The woman hesitated, looking back at Sarah, their eyes locking in silent dialogue. "Are you sure?" she asked softly, the lightness in her voice battling uncertainty. "Absolutely," Sarah found herself saying, as if echoing her unvoiced wish. "We want you to be part of this, part of us." With each moment, the crowd embraced the stranger, moving her past her hesitations until she melted into their rhythm. They danced, and for the first time since her arrival, there was a release of weight. Joy flowed, forming rivulets that healed unseen wounds, and Sarah too found herself lost in the moment. But even as they moved in unison, the question folded quietly beneath the surface: what pieces of the woman's story remained untold? What truly lay ahead? The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows that slanted across the celebration. As laughter echoed into the looming dusk, Sarah felt a shiver run down her spine. It was both exhilarating and terrifying to weave someone else's fate into her own. What would this night reveal about their pasts, and what would they learn from the unfolding future together? The music swelled, and a new thought bloomed in Sarah's mind, battling for attention. What if this was only the beginning? What if they weren't just exchanging smiles but unlocking something much more profound? In that moment, with the skies darkening above and the air thick with possibility, she couldn't shake the feeling that the true storm had yet to arrive. As the last rays of sunlight melted into the horizon, a cool breeze swept through the gathering, stirring the laughter and chatter into an excited hum. It felt alive, vibrant, and Sarah sensed the energy thrumming like a heartbeat. The unfamiliar woman, with her warm laughter drawing everyone closer, danced brightly amid the chaos. Yet, as she twirled with abandon, Sarah caught a glimpse of uncertainty flickering in her eyes, a battle between joy and inner turmoil. "Your presence, it's like a light in the dark," the stranger whispered to Sarah as their paths crossed in the dance. The words resonated, striking Sarah with a warmth that felt both surreal and undeniable. "Thank you for welcoming me. I want you to feel free here, Sarah replied, her heart racing. This is a place for happiness, your happiness. As the music softened, they formed a tight circle, laughter intertwining with the ongoing melody. After a few moments, Mia broke the capricious atmosphere. Let us share stories. Everyone has something special to contribute. Cheers erupted, and the suggestion set off a wave of anticipation. The stranger shifted slightly, her gaze darting from face to face. She paused, a shadow creeping back over her features, and the crowd momentarily quieted. I've always struggled to share parts of myself, she finally admitted. It's hard, to be vulnerable. Sarah's breath caught as she recognized the raw honesty in those words. Struggling to be seen was a thread woven into her own tapestry of life. You don't have to share everything, she assured her. Just what feels right. We're here. We'll listen. A flicker of gratitude shone in the stranger's eyes, followed by determination. All right, she said softly, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. I'll try. The stranger took a deep breath as she began. I grew up feeling like a ghost, invisible to everyone around me. In every home I lived in every schoolyard I wandered, I was always the outsider looking in. Her voice, though shaky, grew steadier with each word. Always searching for a connection that felt real, until I stopped trying. The crowd shared soft murmurs of understanding. Similar stories floated around, echoed by the others as they opened up about their own struggles and triumphs. I just lost my way a little, the woman continued, visibly more relaxed now. And I'm here to rediscover who I am, to find where I belong. As she spoke, Sarah felt the binding threads of camaraderie wrapping around their hearts. They were creating a space where pain could exist alongside joy, and it transformed the night into something even more beautiful. Suddenly, the music surged back to life, faster and louder, pulling them out of their reflections. With a burst of joy, Mia grabbed the stranger's hand, twirling her back into the rhythmic pulse of the celebration. As they danced, the weight of the world lifted slowly from her shoulders, replaced by the warmth of acceptance. See? You're already part of this. Sarah exclaimed, her smile bright, reflecting the joy of the moment. But across the crowd, shadows flickered again. A glimpse of uncertainty passed through the woman's eyes, lingering just long enough for Sarah to notice. As the evening wore on and the celebratory chaos reached a fever pitch, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that there was more of a story waiting to unfold, hidden behind the stranger's genial facade. What secrets lay buried beneath the surface? What demons were left unspoken, ready to rise up when the night grew quiet? With the music booming around them, Sarah felt an electric pulse beneath the exhilaration. A storm was brewing, one she couldn't ignore. What truth would emerge when the lights dimmed, and the laughter faded? Would the bonds they were forging hold strong against the darker tides? In that moment of revelry, Sarah knew one thing for certain: when morning came, everything might change. The pounding rain had finally subsided, leaving the air fresh and the night alive with warm smiles, laughter, and the melodic strumming of Mr. Thompson's guitar. Even as the sun disappeared and stars began to peek out, Sarah felt a ripple of uncertainty ripple at the back of her mind. The stranger, whose name was now a familiar echo, Lily, was slowly weaving her way deeper into their tightly knit community. But, at what cost? With each passing moment, Sarah saw glimpses of Lily's struggle through her laughter. The joy didn't always reach her eyes, which sometimes flickered with shadows of doubt. They danced, they shared stories, but the unspoken weight hung thick. Gather around. Sarah called, her voice rising above the festive sounds. Let us share what this night means to us. The crowd huddled closer, animated, ready for the warmth of connection that had brought them together that day. Neighbors took turns sharing memories of the grocery store, the laughter, love, and support that had coursed through their community like the very roots of ancient trees, deep and interwoven. Then, Sarah felt a gentle nudge at her side. It was Mia, glancing up expectantly. Mommy, can I say something? Of course, sweetheart. Sarah beamed down at her daughter, pride swelling. Mia stepped forward, gripping the microphone with both hands. This party is like a treasure, right? Full of people who care. Her innocent voice rang through the crowd, bright with sincerity. Just like Grandma taught us, we are all family here. And families don't give up. Enthusiastic cheers erupted, and as Mia smiled proudly, Sarah's heart fluttered with emotion. Wise words, Mia, Sarah said, stepping back into the circle. Coming together means we support one another in everything. As the air filled with agreement, she glanced towards Lily. We all have battles we fight, and today is about being brave and vulnerable. With a quiet resolve, Sarah stepped toward Lily. You've shared our joy, but I think it's time you shared yours. There was something electric in the air as the crowd shifted, eyes focused on Lily, encouraging her with gentle nods and smiles. Taking a deep, calming breath, Lily stepped forward, her heartbeat thrumming as if in sync with the collective anticipation. I've always been searching for a home, a place where I felt seen. After years of feeling lost, I think I just found it, she confessed, her voice steadying. Silence resonated through the crowd, the subtlety of their connected struggle palpable. The raw honesty in her admissions opened a door, inviting everyone into their shared vulnerabilities. I walked into this storm of a block party not knowing if I'd fit in. And yet, here I am. It feels powerful to be welcomed like this, she shared, her smile widening. Thank you all for letting me be part of your family, even when I was a stranger. A wave of understanding washed over them, the weight of her words traveling through the thrumming energy of the night. Sarah felt tears well in her eyes, feeling the bond solidify even more between them. Mia, as if sensing the moment, ran forward and took Lily's hand. See. You belong here now. Indeed, Mrs. Henderson added gently. It's time to embrace the chaos and support our community, even the unexpected members. In moments like this, barriers melted. With every shared story and smile, pain transformed into strength, reinforcing a tapestry of connection. Suddenly, a burst of laughter erupted as Mia grabbed a tray of cookies, and without a second thought, began handing them to everyone around her. Try Grandma's cookies. They'll make you feel better. She chirped, lighting up the atmosphere. And just like that, joy returned with a rush. As the crowd devoured treats, another layer of Sarah's heart opened wide. This was it. Somewhere amidst the laughter, Sarah found herself at the edge of the gathering, watching as Mia danced with Lily and the others. The connection amongst them all felt electric, a poignant reminder that each individual's journey was woven together by stories of triumph and resilience. And then, as if summoned by the energy they had forged, the night shifted. A warm glow bathed the community center as they ceased their activities to listen. A sound echoed in the distance, soft and alluring drumming rhythms, reverberating from the town square. What is that? Sarah turned to Lily, sensing the pull toward the unknown together. Let us go find out. Mia rushed ahead, hand in hand with Lily, already bouncing with curiosity. The rest of the community flowed, lifting their hearts as they followed. Under the light of the stars, they arrived, finding local musicians strumming joyous melodies, mingling sounds of laughter with the thrum of the night. In that moment, everything felt exquisite, like a balm for the heart. Each note resonated with hope. As they danced on, the music crescendoed in beautiful harmony with every individual heart, knitting together for a shared cause, a shared future. Tonight is a reminder, Sarah thought, letting the evening wrap around her like a warm blanket. Together, they could face any storm. She locked eyes with Lily, who smiled back, a silent promise exchanged between them. Under the canopy of a sky blanketed in stars, illuminated by the laughter and love emanating from their hearts, a realization felt even deeper than the community bond formed. They had created something powerful. And tomorrow would come with new challenges, but with their spirits intertwined, they would face each one together, side by side. Life was unpredictable, but in that moment, Sarah felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. As the music thrummed on, she whispered a silent thank you for this unbreakable bond illuminated before her. And so, in the twilight of that fateful night, wrapped in community warmth and swirling joy, she knew this was their family, and it was simply just the beginning. If you're moved by this story, subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on more exclusive tales of transformation. Leave a like now to boost our community and nourish the algorithm. Comment your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to this inspiring ending below. And share this with at least 5 friends who need to experience this heartwarming journey. This is the moment to show your support for our story. Don't wait not even one more second to help us spread the love.